into this conversation, let's first listen in to what NASA leader Raila Odinga as well as Moses Wetangula had to say about the motive of this street protest and the strict warning given to them by President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Siku ya Jumanne asubuhi Kenya mzima itaenda kule anniversary kutoa.
Tumetaja majina ya wale wafanyakazi wa IEBC ambao tunawashuku kuwa wamejihusisha na vitendo visivyofaa vya kuhujumu na kufuruga na kudanganya katika uchaguzi uliopita. Tumesema hao maofisa watoke ofisini, wengine wachukue nafasi zao ili tuweze kuandaa uchaguzi ambao utakubalika na Wakenya wote. IEBC haijafanya hivyo. Kwa hivyo maandamano yetu kisheria na kikatiba ni kueleza Wakenya, IEBC yenyewe na dunia mzima ya kwamba hivi ndivyo tunapenda mambo iende, na isipoenda hivyo itakuwa ni vigumu kurudi uwanjani kucheza mpira na referee amevaa uniform ya timu ambayo tunabishana nayo. We are not storming the offices of IEBC. We are going to march peacefully in the streets of Nairobi and elsewhere to show to the country and the world our dissatisfaction and our desire to have IEBC cleaned before we go to the next elections.
Endeleeni na maandamano yenu. Mkiguza mboga za mama ambao wanauza kwa barabara, tuko na nyinyi. Mkiguza mambo ya makioski ya watu, tuko na nyinyi. Mkiguza maduka ya watu, tuko na nyinyi. Lakini kama hamuna lolote lingine la kufanya isipokuwa kutembea, tembeeni. Mtapatiwa escort, mzunguke, mtembee, mpige story, mtukanane. Ninaambia hata mkinitukana mpaka asubuhi haitabadilisha dunia, kwani? Lakini jaribu uchukue hatua nyingine, ndio najua kuna wanaume wengine katika dunia hii. Sio
Well, in studio with me, Honorable Moses Kajwang, Homa Bay Senator, and Honorable Irungu Kangata, Murang'a Senator. Let me begin with you once again, Honorable Kajwang. And Moses Wetangula, their cements, just as you rightfully put it, you're not only demonstrating against the individuals, but an overhaul of the systems within the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. This is part of the irreducible minimum that you wrote to IEBC about. But just yesterday, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission urged NASA to hold off on the street protest today until a planned meeting tomorrow, a consultative meeting which NASA has now declined to attend. Where is the goodwill there?
I don't think there's a problem. If you look at the screen, it's 29 days to the date that was set by the Electoral Commission for the fresh polls. And so every single minute counts. You cannot stop Kenyans from expressing their views or expressing their concerns about the systems and processes and the people at IEBC. The leadership of NASA will probably meet IEBC if we feel that the meeting has been convened in good faith and if we feel that our political competitors are also being treated in a similar manner. The history of our decision not to accord IEBC that kind of audience was some 2 weeks ago, when Raila Odinga, our candidate as NASA, went to Anniversary Towers in a meeting that was called by IEBC that was supposed to be attended by the other contender on the Jubilee side. The meeting never took place, and after the NASA team left, after waiting for 2 hours, that is when the Jubilee team walked in and expected the meeting to go on. We cannot have a system or a situation where Jubilee controls the agenda and meetings of the Electoral Commission. If the Electoral Commission assures us that they will be in control of the agenda and the running of the consultative meetings that they've called at Bomas, we will probably consider going there. So there's no contradiction that today we are going on the streets and on a later day we can sit down to discuss. We are very clear in our minds that there are people who need to leave the stage, there are processes that need to be revised, and there are systems that need to be upgraded and to be made more secure.
Isn't it possible that part of the discussions that were to take place in tomorrow's meeting, which NASA has declined to attend, would have been touching on the issues you plan to protest about today?
Well, that would be preemptive because the date has not reached, the meeting has not started, but we are making a very clear and a very simple requirement. You know, when we talk about systems, the point that is lost to many people, when we talk about opening the servers, there is a reason why when you start an electoral process in the morning at 5:30 a.m., before people start to cast their vote, the agents are there, IEBC is there, the ballot box is opened, it is even transparent, but it is still opened, it is turned upside down and shaken to confirm that there's nothing inside that box. When we talk about opening the servers, that now becomes the digital equivalence of opening the ballot box and shaking it. So the things we're asking for, if you put them in context, they are not unrealistic. I saw the response that the IBC made to the demands that we had put forth. Right. And I must say that to some extent, some 25% of the issues have been addressed. There are 75% of the issues that are still outstanding. We will need to sit down and ask ourselves, what is the criticality of the 75%? And can we afford to go into an election without addressing the 75%?
Right.
But our clarion call is simple. We are not just saying bora uchaguzi. We are saying tunataka uchaguzi bora.
All right. I'll come to you, Honorable Kongata, in just a moment. Let's just take two calls. I'll have Marceline calling in from Kariobangi. Marceline, good morning. Very briefly, what's your question or comment?
Hello.
Go ahead, Marceline. Good morning.
Hello.
Endelea, tunakusikia.
Mimi Marcelina, mimi naongea kutoka South. Na mimi ni mama, mimi nilipiga kura, mimi nilipiga kura yangu na nikapiga kwa haki. Na tukiwa kwa kituo yetu tuliona watu walikuwa wengi sana, tukasimama mpaka tukachoka, lakini tukang'ang'ana mpaka tukapiga kura. Now my question is, kwa nini sisi kama watu wale wa mashinani tukiona tunataka kuexercise ni zetu asizetu kuonekana ya kwamba sisi na watu hai, sisi hatuna imani kabisa na kiloka. Sisi hata kama ni watu wa ground, sisi tunajua mahali mbaya huko, tunajua watu hai sisi waliiba ile vitu Supreme Court. Kama tukitaka kutembea tuonyeshane vile tunasikia tunadhulumiwa, tunasikia tumetunani kama sisi sio wapiga kura, na kama sisi hatuna haki. Kwa nini sisi tunataka kuzidiwa na kuambiwa kana kwamba sisi tunataka kuleta vurugu? Tunaleta vurugu aje na wakati watu wajibuliwa walifanya nini yao, walifanya maasi yao, walifanya vitu na tulikuwa tunaangalia kwa screen, we could see each and everything. Walikuwa wanataka hata kuvunja gate ya Supreme Court. Kwa nini sisi wananaza tunazuiliwa? Na sisi tunajua haki sana kwamba wale walihusika kulingana na ruling, Kilomba waliiba kura zetu, na tunajua kabisa Honorable Raila Odinga alikuwa ameshinda. Kwa nini wananaza sisi tunadhulumiwa, na sisi ni Wanakenya, na sisi ni wapiga kura?
Asante sana. That is Marceline calling in from Kariobangi. We also have Joseph calling in from Zimmerman. Joseph, good morning. To your question or comment, please.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
Hey, yeah, I'm asking Honorable Kanata, why is he a hypocrite and he and Jubilee and their president? Because hello?
We can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yesterday, Jubilee were protesting. When they were protesting, Honorable Kanata has said Ezra Chiloba has to be proven guilty. Was Babu Owino yesterday guilty? He was not proven guilty. So they did have a right to protest. So we have a right to protest. As Kenyans, we are not satisfied and we have to protest. When the president says that they are ready for us, they are ready for what now? Have we done anything already? No. So when the president says that, it shows that they are preparing themselves to disrupt our peaceful demonstration so that they can paint us black and yet we are white.
So much, Joseph. We'll be addressing your thoughts in just a moment. And finally, let's also speak to George calling in. George, good morning. To your question or comment, please.
Morning to you, madam.
I want to talk to Honorable Kangata. What I want to say is this. Honorable Kangata, yes, what we are fighting for, we are not fighting for Jubilee, we are not fighting for NASA, we are fighting for each and everybody in Kenya. Whereby you yourself, there will reach a time your son or your daughter or your grandchild will need to be elected. And if we can have office of IEBC, the way you people have ordered it, it is a property of government. Because I haven't seen anybody complaining about Chepakati, about Cheloba. How many people were being in this election? Because election was rigged. Look here. Uhuru was, they almost announced he is the winner of the election. How comes he's now nullified? Are we not using taxpayer of a poor person like I? And then, if I complain, I'm the one who is going to be shot by police. Please, I beg you, sit down with the others, talk to them, bring everybody in. Okay.
All right. Yeah, we got your point, George. Many thanks for calling. Honorable Nkata, very briefly, I want to take a break, but we'll give you more time to react to this. Your thoughts on what's been said?
Maybe you can first take a break
because it's a lot. All right, well, let's take a short commercial break. At this point, I want to release our viewers watching us on KTN Home. Life and Style is coming up next, but we're coming back with this conversation right here on The Political Point, exclusively on KTN News.